Status is the currency of Gen Z and millennials.
There's a direct correlation between status and revenue, as you just pointed out. And so if you can build status by building your tribe, building your value, then that is of tremendous importance, and especially to young people where they understand the value of status and how you can monetize that as a process over time.
Well, let's stick with Gen Z. By the way, where does Z come from?
Yeah, that's the Canadian me coming out. Gen Z, Gen Z. I'm
Gen
Canadian,
Z,
okay.
millennials. So I know you've said before that status is the currency of Gen Zs and millennials. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, people often think that from a marketing standpoint, money is big. We offer money, we offer deals, we offer this. And a lot of people compete on price. It's not a very good way to compete, that's for sure. And money isn't the most important thing to people. Even when people will say that is, oh yeah, I want a better deal, I want more sales. That's not necessarily how they actually react and how they actually think. Gamification, which is the process of using video game mechanics in marketing, such as leaderboards and rewarding people and things like that, like you see in video games. Gamification, which is a powerful way of getting desired behaviors, they have done a lot of studies on this stuff, and they understand that status is the most important thing, especially to young people. And status is likes that you've got, how many followers you have, are you an influencer, do you have the following, the tribe? And that can be then, there's a direct correlation between status and revenue, as you just pointed out. And so if you can build status by building your tribe, building your value, then that is of tremendous importance, and especially to young people where they understand the value of status and how you can monetize that as a process over time.
That's interesting, because I've never heard that before I spoke to you about status being their currency. And I guess that also connects back to what you cited from Jeff Bezos about what people say when you're not in the room. So how you're perceived and how that connects to building your brand. Staying with Gen Z for a moment, millennials, what essential ingredients do you think they need to be successful?
Well, first of all, starting with what is your superpower? What are you good at? What do you like? And often they don't know. We put them through a process to help them figure out. We try out different things. We let them try different processes to figure it out. But know thyself. One of my favorite lines from The Matrix, one of my favorite movies. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you like doing. So to do that, you have to try. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this too. You don't know if you like doing this till you do it. So start putting some videos out and start trying this thing. And in the process, maybe you find out you don't like doing the video stuff. You like writing, right? You like doing copy. So figuring out what you like to do and what you're good at, that's really important first step. Because then you can outsource all the other stuff, because nowadays you can do that. So making a process to help you build your brand means figuring out what you're good at and, more importantly, what you're not good at.
That's very important. And so with that group of people, would you also say, if you were to have someone in front of you that figured out who they are, what they're about, what digital skills would you say they need first of all to get going?
Well, you need to be able to capture information coming into your digital world. This is what we call digital agility. Capture information coming in the digital world, archive it, and then retrieve it at will, and then share and collaborate effortlessly as if your team was in the same room. To be able to do that, you have to have a number of things in place. But then that allows you to be focused on your message and your offer and not on the process, not on the technology, not on the friction, the issues. So that requires you to take the friction out of your technology solutions. And friction is anything that comes between you and your data, you and your team members. I can't find that file. The link didn't work. I don't know where that thing went. that kind of thing. You want to streamline the process first and make sure that you have the technology solutions in place to allow you to focus on the thing that's most important, which is your message and your offer.
So just to sum up this bit about Gen Z and millennials, what's really important is that given that status is a big thing for them, it's really important that they know who they are and what they're about. And if they don't, that they explore that in whatever ways they do. But then having done that, it's then important to have some systems and tools in place that's going to allow them to focus on that and not all the chaos that sometimes technology can bring, and lack of systems, not just technology. Does that sum up what you're saying?
Yes, and there's one more key thing that they often misunderstand. I talk to them about you need systems, and they'll say, oh, I don't want to have a rigid system. I want to have a flexible schedule, and you certainly can do that. What they need to understand is, in order to have the flexibility to do what you want, where you want, when you want, with who you want, the only way to do that is to put automation and systems in place to automate the back end stuff of that. You're out doing your thing, playing your video games, doing your ball, doing your trick and parkour, whatever it might be. That you need a way to capture that information and then put it through a process that creates content and then outputs it. That requires systems. So while you don't have to follow a system and a rigid structure, your business needs to have systems in place to automate the processing of content that you'll develop to create value and then generate revenue. So they kind of get that one mixed up when they talk about, I don't want to do systems.
Right.
You need systems so that you can have the freedom to do what you want and focus on your core competency.
Okay. So from everything you said, Martin, it sounds that it's really important that they have these systems in place. It's a little bit like building the foundations. If you don't have the foundations, then whatever you build is eventually going to come tumbling down.
The infrastructure, the underlying infrastructure that will support your business. And again, it's possible to do that now, and it's easier. It's by no means easy, but it's possible, and it's critical to give you the freedom to do what you want and set your own schedule.
You have been listening to the Modern Samurai interviews with Martin Ricketts, the Digital Samurai, hosted by Anita Narayan. On the next episode, we'll discuss the critical importance of content-based marketing.
Don't settle. Do work you love. Design your future.